3, 2, 1. Hello, you are listening to Jump and Shoot, a gaming podcast, and this is going to be another episode of our Sidequests series where we do some live stream discussion-based episodes about whatever. And today I am joined by the only cops who are indeed not bastards. And there's some audio playing from other sources. Oops. The only cops who are not bastard thought cops, Kevin and Grant. Hi, guys.
Hello.
What's up, Joey? How's it going, man?
Oh, you know, just drinking coffee at 7 p.m.
Yeah, I think we're all in the same boat, you know.
That's the life that we live. So what are we talking about today, guys? What's going on?
I know, you're like, was there a video game series you guys might want to talk about? And the first one that came to mind for me was this, I don't know, everybody's heard of it. It's like a Japanese, some one of these like weird Japanese games. It's called Mario.
Oh, the game Mario.
Like, yeah, like Super Mario Brothers. Like, not and like all the, you run around, jump, and like collect coins and stuff. It's not everybody's really familiar with it, but I figured this could be a good way to bring some awareness to the series and hopefully bring it stateside.
Yeah, I mean, we're really trying to get the Mario localization team to jump on this. So,
Right.
Xseed or Nisa, whoever wants to, to do it, please come on. Yeah, is that right, Grant? Is it Mario or is it Yoshi?
I believe it's pronounced Mario.
Oh, yeah. I love how you can tell how much of a piece of shit somebody is by the way that they say Mario or Mario. Like both the dichotomy of shitty American accents. Boom, baby.
I didn't start doing it until I realized that it pissed people off, and now I can't stop.
He says Mario. He says Pokemon.
Right, yeah.
That's condescending. I like it. Also, it reminds me of The Sopranos. I remember there's like 4 instances of either Tony or Carmela saying Mario Kart. And
yeah, I think it was like in season 1. Junior or not Junior. What's the son's name again?
Anthony Jr.
Yeah, I'm just confused because there's Junior, like Uncle Junior,
Little
right?
Soprano.
Yeah.
And then but Little Junior's playing Mario Kart 64, and I just remember because like Tony is like holding the N64 controller like this.
Yeah. He gets like competitive with them, and like somehow, it's one of those like early 2000s video game shots where, like the gameplay on the screen does not match what is happening in real life, and he like sabotages Anthony Jr. and wins the race somehow. He like puts his hand over his eyes or something. I don't know.
And then he gets mad about it. He's like, I'm gonna throw this thing out the fucking window. You're wasting your time with this shit.
Mm-hmm. And that was just my dad in real life.
Yeah.
So that's the way it goes. So yeah,
there could be a whole like gimmick account of like you said like early 2000s like video game shots. Like how many TV shows did you see like somebody playing a Game Boy and there's like no game pack in the back?
Right.
And as a kid, it's infuriating. I remember there was an episode of Malcolm in the Middle where Reese was playing Game Boy and there's no game pack in there. And I was like, tell my parents, I'm like, why is that working if there's no game pack? And they're like, oh, you should write the creators of the show and see what they say. And even as an 8-year-old, I'm like, they don't care.
Yeah, sure. It's like you're like a shitty parental way for you to, I don't know, stay involved, write to your senators.
Right. That'll keep them busy.
Right.
That is a good idea for a themed Twitter account, though. I think that'd take off pretty quickly.
I think, just like a miscellaneous tapping and whatever to fucking like a VN. That's what we need. We need like more VN representation in
I'm actually playing my first VN ever recently, and it's probably like the most famous one, Phoenix Wright.
Oh yeah, Phoenix Wright or Ace Attorney is
Ace
so
Attorney,
good.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Ace Attorney.
It's so good. And Demon of the Fall, aka Jamie, says hi in the chat. So
what's up,
hello.
Demon of the Fall? AKA Jamie.
AKA Jamie. 1992.
What's up? How's it going?
Because that's how many people he has had sex with.
1991. That's insane.
Yeah, it's very many.
Get checked.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering what the significance was, but that's crazy.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
So today we're talking Mario's Manifesto, right?
Yes.
Mario,
yes.
He's assembled a manifesto And I just want to real quick. There is this really stupid like Gen X / like slightly libertarian meme that I see all the time. That it's like, be like Mario. Mario is an Italian plumber that looks like a Mexican, designed by Japanese people or whatever. And it's like,
Yeah.
people think that they share that, and they think that it's in solidarity or whatever. And it's just,
what is it? Yeah.
it's so that's kind of what I want to broach today. I really want to make a Mario manifesto that captures that idea of multiculturalism.
You know what my goal for today is to set the stage and create Mario's manifesto so that one day Jordan B. Peterson can have a debate on it, and he'll only have read the Mario manifesto and not read Capital or anything else. That's my plan. That's my goal for today, is that the intellectual greats of yore will look back at this exact podcast and derive some level of epistemological meaning from it.
100%. I mean, Mario's original name was supposed to be Marx. Epistemological. Right. It was originally supposed to be Marx instead of Mario.
And then
Mario.
there was already the Marx Brothers, so that was kind of confusing.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, just having one being green and one being red was just simply not enough. Do you think that there was like a third brother to represent the Italian flag? So like red, green, and white?
I remember when I was a kid, I always considered Wario to be the third brother, but I guess they're not related.
Is Wario?
Right.
Yeah. Is Wario like a genetic hellspawn of... I don't understand the lore.
I would like to believe it's the exact same for like Shadow the Hedgehog, where he was like born in a tube.
Right, exactly.
Created by Bowser. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't fucking know. I don't know, man.
And
but
where the fuck did Waluigi come from, you know?
I feel like he was maybe the clone. I need somebody to step in here. Somebody with some authority.
I also heard that Mario and Luigi are supposed to be like Italian. I think I heard that Wario is supposed to be German.
Yeah, somebody just said that in the chat. Wario is supposed to be German.
Where's the chat at? Am I missing that here?
It's on Twitch.
Gamer 88 said that.
Somehow they made him Italian because, I mean, if you try hard enough, you can make anything Italian. Look at every restaurant.
Right. You do this a couple times and you're in. That's it.
Wop Luigi, dude, go fuck yourself. Wop Luigi with the slurs. No. Come on. Okay. Just to say my authority in the matter, I can make Italian American jokes because my adopted parents were Italian American. I'm not genetically or biologically, but I can. I grew up in a household with a lot of cocksuckers. The word, not like the literal thing, and.
Right. We wouldn't judge you either way.
Right. Thank you. Well, that's why we're here and we're talking about this. So I get to make those jokes. You can't. Demon of the Fall, 1992. Even if you are in an Italian-American Facebook group, that does not give you that authority. So, guys, favorite Mario game? What is your favorite Mario game?
Yeah, I wanted to make this stipulation here. Like when I said Mario, I was like maybe just like the mainline games, because I know there's like Mario's Baseball, Mario's Kart, Mario's Party. There's a million. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, maybe if we just did like the main like platforming adventure ones.
Or we could separate into genre.
That's also,
favorite Mario RPG, favorite Mario 3D platform, 2D platformer.
I could do it. I could go all night.
First-person shooter.
Mario's first-person shooter.
But there is one, Yoshi Safari.
Oh, true. Very true. I just realized now that Mario does have an aspect of this podcast name, because there is the idea of like jumping and shooting with the fireballs. So there's some context here, right? I'm just going to open the gates here. I think the best, and this is probably a boomer take, but I think the best Mario RPG game is the fucking original. You got to go with Mario RPG. You got Genie.
Yeah, I would honestly agree.
Superstar Saga's good, though. It's okay.
I don't know. I feel... I hate to ruffle feathers. I don't know. I do go back to the old Mario RPG, and it's like it doesn't have, I think, the nostalgia factor for me that it had for a lot of people. And I don't know. I really fucking like the Thousand Year Door. I think it's a near masterpiece. I know that might be controversial,
No?
to go up against the big hitter that is Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars, but that's just how I feel in my heart, and nobody
No, I
can
feel
tell
like
me I'm wrong.
objectively that's probably true. I don't know. Yeah, that's an amazing game too.
Right. It's got the glitz pit.
Yeah.
Can I share an anecdote about Paper Mario?
Please.
Absolutely.
So I remember the exact moment when I realized that I should probably not just be a Nintendo fanboy anymore. And I was probably 12 or 13, maybe a little younger, maybe a little older. And I was in the grocery store in line, and there was this kid who was sitting in front of me with his mom, and he had something in his hand and was like being an annoying, sticky little shit and hitting the cart with it, and was like, "Look, Mom, I got Mario's hammer." And so, or I hit it like Paper Mario's hammer does, and I was like, "Motherfucker, you never raced Bowshy. You know, you never fought Smithy. You little poser."
Right.
That game had such great, like, unique characters too, like Boshi, Gino, Smithy.
It was really unique in that sense. But I remember when that came out, I was like, because I had played Paper Mario and I was a little bit underwhelmed by it. And then when that moment happened, I was like, I don't think I can do this anymore. I think I got to play some grown-up shit now. Like, what's a grown-up
Like
shit?
what?
Time Splitters 2, baby. Luigi's Mansion. Luigi's Mansion was the logical step. No, I wasn't like I'm a baby. It was just kind of like a sobering realization. And it was like around the time that Wind Waker was coming out, and there was a lot of like BS forum talk about like it being for kids because it's cell shaded, and that was just back in my head.
Which it was like the same mechanics of all the previous like 3D games. It just they changed the art style. Like it worked the exact same.
Well, what I really like about Paper Mario and Mario RPG is that how it puts like not quick time actions, but timing based things into your attacks. So like, if you press A right before, you attack, you do more damage. And I'm a big fan, I have to say.
Yeah. I think that those games, like the Mario RPGs, like stand out from like other RPGs. Like it's the fun writing and it's like the time attack stuff.
Right.
For sure. Did you guys play the new one?
No, I was actually just about to bring that up. I love the first two Paper Mario games. The one on the Wii is okay, and I am
little bit
repulsed.
of a different, but
I'm repulsed by everything after that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I watched Kelly play the new Mario, Paper Mario, and it was like it just like the writing was clever, it was funny, but I really that battle system, man, is like it really feels like Little Timmy's Puzzle Party 420.
Yeah, like why bother? Like people know, like they want the regular one.
Right. Give us the original, man. No,
I feel like
the
so
new
much
shit
of
sucks.
Nintendo is just like, I have money, I'm trying to give it to you, please take it,
Yeah, I've thrown all these dollars. Kevin and I were talking about this earlier. This is my coffee money that I'm just dropping $1 bills everywhere, apparently. It was just over here. It was a prop. But I think like with Mario, with Paper Mario especially, they have such a storied history because Sticker Star had that legacy of being like the worst Mario game ever. Remember this? Or did you guys?
Yeah.
You guys not follow? I don't know.
I
Who follows this?
Yeah, no, I got that
I
game
skipped
and
it.
I played it for like an hour, and I'm like, yeah, not feeling it.
You know what? This is the best. This comment in the chat is everything that I could say in this entire podcast, and it's make Mario from Brooklyn again.
Mimfbuga.
The Australian who played the Italian American plumber. That's the again that's part of the Mario Manifesto. It embraces multiculturalism, like John Leguizamo playing Luigi, for example.
True.
Right, exactly.
But do you guys think that these side characters in Mario RPG have relevance in 2021?
No,
With
not
Smash
really.
especially. Yeah, I agree.
like I thought they would put Gino in Smash because like they were just like this new game they're adding in like every single fan favorite. Like remember like on like forums in like 2002, 2003 it was like you got to put in Ridley, you got to put in King K. Rool, Banjo-Kazooie, and like every single one of those characters is getting put in the game now. And it's like and then Gino was also at the top of that list and it just didn't really pan out.
Yeah. I feel like I don't know if it's just a sort of a 30-something gamer thing, or if Zoomers want Gino too, or if I don't know where the line is.
It seems like a lot of younger people have like gone back and played the game, and they just a lot of younger people seem to like enjoy the character for whatever reason. I think just because like there's like a storied history behind it or something.
Yeah. So here's a stupid little piece of trivia. So you can trace Kingdom Hearts origins to Mario RPG, because originally what they wanted to do is they wanted to have like storybook / Disney-esque worlds in the game, and they wanted to have like a Pinocchio world. So Gino was supposed to be like Pinocchio, and then rights BS happened, and they had to like make an OC. So so they made Gino and they put that in there. I guess they kind of this is all like very nebulous. It wasn't like a specific thing, but that was kind of like the original, like the idea of a crossover dates as far back as Mario. Was that 97, 96?
96, yeah.
Yeah, 96. Yeah, it was before FF7. I remember.
And I think actually the same. I want to say maybe the same composer did both games.
For Mario RPG
and Kingdom Hearts. I think.
Oh, Yoko Shimomura.
I think so.
I'll take your word for it.
You don't know this one, Grant?
Oh yeah, you are right. I didn't know that.
No, not
wow.
100%.
I think she did. I think she did Street Fighter as well.
I had no idea that Yoko Shimomura did Mario RPG, and
Me neither.
I love Beware the Forest Mushrooms. That song fucking bops.
It is pretty awesome. I do.
And I thought like in the Geno reveal, like for the costume, whatever, when they had the Sephiroth coming out and everything, they had that song playing, and I thought for sure they would be like, "Oh, this costume comes with a song," because they had like Sans from Undertale and they had Megalovania from Undertale was like in it.
I think it's in the game already. I know it was in Smash 4.
Oh,
Beware the Forest Mushrooms was. So I don't remember if they brought it in. I'm not a true fan, apparently. So none of us deserve the Smash credit. Yeah, I think that there is a lot of
amongst us is.
Yeah, really. I think there's a lot of potential.
Am I lagging seriously?
No,
no. You're like you keep compressing a little bit, but it's not just
okay. Because my screen of you guys is sort of lagging, but I'll do. If I'm answering out of time, just ignore me. Just keep going.
Okay. No,
show must go on.
Yeah, I like Mallow a lot too. I want to talk about Mallow.
Yeah.
For a second, because one of the things I was wondering about is Mallow a simp? Is he a commentary on toxic masculinity? What is Mallow? Who is Mallow?
He did, if I recall correctly, wasn't he like a fan of Mario's?
Yeah,
like, he was like a Mario fanboy, and like then he got to meet him, and he's like, "What?" I love the animation of those games, like when Mario's telling a story,
right?
He's like,
he like pantomimes everything.
Yeah.
Well, Squaresoft's like early to mid 90s stuff was so good with that, like FF6, Chrono Trigger, the Saga games. They had a lot.
One of our listeners in the chat says Astral Gamer 88 says Mallow from Twilight Princess.
Oh no. From Mario RPG.
Yeah, but I think there was a Mallow in that game, like one of the kids or something.
Yeah, one of the farm.
Oh,
folk.
I think you're right. Yeah,
the farming folks.
Forgot about that.
I just always wanted to eat Mallow because he looked delicious, and he has busted thunder magic.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I remember one of the leaks for Smash where that Mallow and Gino were like a ice climbers pair, which did not.
That would be interesting. Yeah.
I would be into that. Let's switch gears from Mario RPG. What about platformers? What is your favorite Mario platformer?
2-dimension, 3-dimension, 4-dimension. Name your dimension.
Oh fuck. What do you prefer? 2D or 3D or 4D?
The Shrek 4D experience, personally.
And yes, we know he's a marshmallow.
There is I think, satisfaction to the 3D ones. I mean, like, I think going back and playing some of the 2D platformers is just sort of like you feel it in your hands and in your bones and in your soul, like what you're supposed to do in this game. But it's like you always want to be able to take that a step forward, step into the 3D space that we all inhabit. And I think as far as 3D games go, I mean, we've probably talked about this ad nauseum within our own stream, but I think that like Odyssey is probably, I think, the best one to come out so far. It just seems like a good amalgamation of all the stuff that they've thrown together in all of the games, and the mechanics of it feel really good. And it's just pure, simple, clean Mario.
I would agree.
Delicious.
I would agree.
I feel like there's something you're holding something back here, Kevin.
No. I mean, I actually agree with everything you said. Like, that game like blew me away. It feels like it has, like you said, everything from like all of the previous games and more.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, like the 2D games, I mean, I can go back and play those games like over and over and over. But even like Odyssey had like 2D segments. It had like mini worlds. It was like like 3D platforming, and then it had like exploration and all the like big hub worlds and everything. Like, it feels like it had everything from like all the main platforming games in like one. And I mean, I would argue like, I think like the trifecta of like Mario Bros. 3, Mario World, and Mario 64, like those games are like amazing back to back. And but yeah, I mean, Odyssey really just like hit like every note for me.
I feel kind of like a poser because I grew up on Mario, obviously, and I love it, but at the same time I feel kind of dispassionate toward it as a whole. And I feel like that hit critical mass with Mario Odyssey, because I kind of agree with you guys. I think that Mario Odyssey in a lot of ways checks all the boxes. It's you could pick it up and play it like a handheld game, because the is it stars or was it Lunas? Right? What are the stars in it?
Power moons.
Power moons. There you go.
Yeah.
Mario Galaxy. So it's like, there's so fucking many of them that it's easy just to pick up and play for a little bit. But if you want to sit down and binge it, then you can too. But I think the problem is that sort of bite-sized design also bit it in the ass, because it just feels too oversaturated. And at first it doesn't. Like, when you first go into the first world, you're like, oh, okay, this is about a Mario 64 style or sized level. And then you get like 7 or 8 moons, and then you realize there's like 40 in the place that you can't get till later.
Right.
And a lot of them, some of them are really cool. I like the ones where you have to do the like the 2D sections. I think that's interesting. And then like there's some hidden ones. It's like the same formula as the older 3D games, but I just feel like it's too spread thinly.
Yeah, I mean, I hear they complain a lot where there's
I
like
kind of have the same.
Whoa.
Oh, sorry. I feel like my lag is like throwing shit up,
for a split second.
Am I still audible? Fucking
yeah, you're audible.
Shit,
you're
this
just
fucking
clicking.
computer.
Waiting for Grant to come back through the warp pipe.
Boop, boop, boop.
Hello, Kevin. Why don't you speak to that? Point
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the? Yeah, like, I mean, people complain where it's like every
Similar
like
sort of.
Oh shit.
No, I have a similar criticism
Wait.
to.
Sorry, I think there's a major like. Shit, man, I can't even tell.
Yeah, he's like popping in and out. Okay. Well,
there we go. Okay, well, wait for that to back in again.
So yeah, go ahead while we wait until that gets fixed.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, people complain there's like a moon every 10 feet, which I mean, I guess I can understand, but like, I don't know. I do enjoy like the return to like 64 style, because like I thought 3D World was really fun on the Wii U, but it felt like underwhelming. Like I wanted like a big, adventure style game, like they had like gone like all out before, and it was just sort of like, very limited exploration, and like it was like tight levels and good level design, but it didn't feel like a step forward in the way that Odyssey did.
For sure. I definitely agree. And while we are waiting for an officer reinforcement here, sorry, are like cops jokes something that makes you cringe now?
I don't really. Yeah, we have like a loose lore on the show where we're just like,
Because I did it very
I-
tongue in cheek. I don't know.
yeah. I mean, that's pretty much how we do it too. Like, it's just like we have it like there's deputies and gumshoes and stuff like that. It's all very loosely tied to uh some lore, I guess.
The deep lore,
Yeah.
the deepest of Thought Cops lore. And Grant is back, but I think he is still lagging. You are turning green, but you are not speaking.
I can hear Joey. I
Can you hear me?
can hear Kevin sometimes. I cannot see him.
What the heck?
I can hear you, yeah.
This is the
That's
only
weird.
time I've had technical difficulties on here, and that's like knock on wood. But
Yeah, right.
yeah, it's just nice that we have 3 people, and if somebody is dropping, we can.
True.
It's the fucking internet in this it's the internet in this building. This laptop runs the best.
Oh yeah.
Oh, speaking of cop
And
fun,
internet's just dog shit.
Demon of the Fall 1992 says Thought Cops turning off body cams. Typical.
That's what I
Yeah.
was giggling at. That's really good.
Okay.
Okay, that I can back.
Well
I
played.
won't-
Well played.
That's good. But yeah, so what do you think is the future for how does Mario, synthesize all these elements and still be relevant and fun without kind of feeling a little bit? I almost want to say Odyssey feels soulless, but not quite. And then, contrasted to all the ports and like hyper capitalist things that they're doing, like they released those 3 ports like very haphazardly for $60 and it's limited. Is that the future? Is Mario just gonna be fucking us?
Not. I mean, they said it was like for some celebration for the anniversary, which is stupid. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I would say like I didn't think Odyssey was soulless, but I would say that about like the new Super Mario Brothers games.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, those games are just like for me like so
for
boring.
sure, yeah.
They beat themselves.
Yeah,
they're very easy, and it's not really like a super fun kind of easy. Like Mario
the first
World
one
is
in
easy,
DS
but
was
it's
fun.
Oh, 3D World is actually quite good.
Yeah, but like new Super Mario Brothers U,
Yeah.
like the 2D on the Wii U, that game is just yeah.
It's like it's so mediocre. I don't really
Yeah.
Like it's like kind of fun to put on like while you're having a conversation because it basically plays itself.
Mm-hmm.
But 3D World is kind of the same thing, but it's like a little bit better, and that's getting a port too with like DLC.
I'm excited for that. Yeah.
Bowser's Fury or something. It's like the alternate timeline. Mario timeline is becoming the Zelda timeline at this point.
Yeah, you got to buy the book to find out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I definitely I'm excited for that. Because I feel like that new mode looks like it's more of like a big sandbox style thing, but also like it looks like there's a lot of replayability and everything. It kind of reminds me of did you ever play Kirby Air Ride on GameCube?
Yeah, that game fucks.
Yeah. Do you remember City Trial mode?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It kind of reminds me of that, where it's like there's like these different events happening, and you kind of inhabit the same space.
Mm-hmm. That's like it's almost like how MMOs work, to some extent, like where there's kind of like a triggered events that sort of come out of nowhere and based off of things that you do or time that passes. And Grant, are you with us? Are you back?
I believe so. I hope so. Am I coming through? Is my timing of what I'm saying happening at when you asked me that question?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. What do you think
Okay,
about Kirby's Air Ride?
I heard. What do you think about Kirby's Air?
Air
I couldn't
Ride.
tell if that was a lag or just a really difficult
And then
question.
you stopped, but then you started back up. I never played it.
Never played it.
My boy never had a GameCube. Is that what's?
I
Is that
played
what
it.
Did you have a GameCube?
I had a GameCube. I just never had that game.
It was good.
I did, yeah. Never played that game.
Yeah, no, I think Kevin's kind of on point with what he is guessing that expansion is going to be. I'm curious about it, but at the same time, it's like really hard for me to justify spending $60 on a game that I'm not like super into.
Yeah, I don't think it should have been that much, but because it's like I had I lived at home for a couple years after college where like we had a Wii U, like with me and my siblings, and I never like brought it with me. So like on the Switch, I have my own, and it's nice to like rebuy some of those games. Like I got
Right.
Pikmin 3 Deluxe for the Switch because I played it on Wii U, and I'm like, I could go for another Pikmin game again. So I got it on Switch, and I enjoyed the hell out of that game. That's really fun.
Yeah, I kind of like how the Switch has just become the new home for a lot of games that people should have played but didn't because they didn't really have Wii U's because it was useless.
Right.
So it's like, I mean, I loved my Wii U personally, but I see why they brought over ports. But I don't know. You know what? I tried playing Mario World earlier today.
The Super Nintendo one?
Yeah, the first one that came back, and it's like that game hits in a lot of ways, but I just I don't know. I don't feel that much from it anymore. I don't know if I'm getting old or if I just want something else. I don't know if like Mega Man eclipsed that to me. I don't.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up because I know this is like named after Mega Man, and I was like, I don't know if Mario and Mega Man are enemies or they're friends. What's the situation there?
Well, I think that you're looking at two very disparate timelines, buddy. Because Mega Man is like dystopian. Is Mario dystopian?
I don't think so.
I would say Mario's dystopian in the same way that like Adventure Time is dystopian, which is like possibly a post-apocalyptic world or something like that, but nothing that's really sort of like stands out as being something that's,
New Donk
inherently
City,
negativistic.
New Donk City was like 1,000 years in the past when human beings used to look like normal.
Yeah, which is that's probably my favorite Mario lore is New Donk City.
Seriously, very strange.
Very strange and like a weird sort of meta commentary on Mario itself, like a convergent timeline where like Donkey Kong became it's fucked and it's so sick. And I'm fucked. You're right. I'm kneeling right now. Sorry, because my back is all sorts of fucked up and like I just have to move or else I get cramps because I'm 32 years old and becoming an old man. So that's why I look like this. Before anyone asks,
I was gonna ask. I thought it might be like something what you got unplugged or whatever.
No, I have back pain because that's who I am. I don't know. Like the 2D games, like I like Mario 3 a lot, but I think I don't want to say it's not overrated because that's like a really stupid contrarian thing to say. But like it just
hell yeah it is.
Hell yeah it is.
Who's rating these things?
I love that game too. I feel like I have more fondness of memories of playing it than I actually do playing the game itself.
Yeah, and I guess like the point I was going to bring up in relation to that is like, it's like I've seen like the first like 10 seasons of The Simpsons like 100 times. It's like that. It's like one of my favorite shows, and it's like they're still very funny, but I go back and watch them, and it's just like they play in my head like already. I know everything that's going to happen, and like I wish I could zap my memory and do it for the first time. And that's kind of how I feel about those games, where it's like I've played them all like I said so many times, so it's like they're it feels predictable in some way, but and from the perspective I think of like when they came out, they were all very like innovative,
right?
And I think that a lot of like modern indie games have like captured the spirit of a lot of older games, but still like feel new.
Yes, I agree. I agree completely.
I think that was the biggest boot for like playing older games, because I think back in the day, like before, like maybe like 10 years ago, before indie games were like as big as they are now, like I know that they existed to some extent, but like, if you wanted to get that experience from those kind of games, you had to play only those old games, And then now it's like you can play something like Shovel Knight, where it's like, oh, it feels like Mega Man. It feels like, different aspects of different games.
Yeah, it's
But
like it's
it's like a good
become
balance,
right. It's become this sort of like weirdly, I don't know, like postmodern thing where like.
no.
Okay,
Get out of here,
I'm not gonna get
Jordan.
into like philosophy 101, but
They're
really though,
Marxists.
Marxist Mario, just like the word Metrovania, as Ashel Gamer says. But no, it's like it's
Cultural
kind of
Metroidvaniaism.
yeah, no, really though, and it's like the modernness of all these indie games that you're talking about are games that kind of do a similar feel to Mario or other like classic games, 2D games especially. I feel like that sort of eclipsed a lot of the love that I have for Mario, and I don't know if this is just an capital A aging gamer thing, but I just can't get excited about first party Mario game. Man, like even like the concept of Mario Kart doesn't really do a whole lot for me these days.
I don't know, for what for me, I still like, there's just so much polish on those games where I just, I'm in it, most every time, unless it's like a soulless 2D carbon copy.
Yeah.
The
Mario U, Wii U.
Right.
Does the Mario Manifesto acknowledge the existence of Bowsette? Grant, you want to answer that?
Absolutely. Yes. That's the part of history we all need to acknowledge and revel in to a certain extent. But Joey, I think the thing you're talking about with like is it like aging or whatever, it's one of those things that I do sort of feel what you're talking about to a large extent. Like there's so many games that I go back and it's like, oh, I used to love the shit out of this, and now I turn on like Pokemon Red and it's like, oh, this is slow. Like, holy shit, this game's so fucking slow. And it's like, yeah, like I do think that technology sort of moved forward, and like, as you've sort of like enjoyed things past a certain level of enjoyment, it's just like, yeah, I've probably overplayed some of this stuff. But I do think one aspect that I appreciate about certain games like Mario and whatnot is the fact that it's like you can just pick up a controller and like play to whatever extent you want to, like that's the thing. I still haven't really fully 100%ed Odyssey yet, but it's like I can still pick it up at any time. Like any of the one that just came out, the 3D All-Stars game, it's like I can pick up any one of those and just sort of like relive that and to whatever extent I want to, and then just like put it down and not worry too much about it, sort of thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think that's sort of the design impetus for Odyssey too, and what probably will always be, because even Galaxy is like that. Even Mario 64 is like that, where you pick it up and you get a star and then you stop.
Right.
Yeah, no,
there's like a timelessness to that, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And my big thing with that kind of, like, I'm a huge fan of things that are like easy to get into, like simple to play,
right.
like difficult to master. It's like even like in some of the newer, like, because when you beat Odyssey, there's like a whole, like, the second half of the game opens up to some extent, and like some of the challenges are like kind of tough.
Yeah. Oh,
Right.
did you get the last moons?
I did. Yeah,
that was brutal. I love that. I wish there's more of that, actually.
Yeah, it's like, I think like those games, like anyone can play them, like any age, anyone, but it's like you got to put in the time to, like, you kind of get what you want out of them, basically.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a big learning curve, but like it's just like the simple mechanics are just like so well developed.
Right.
And there's like advanced techniques in Mario Odyssey, for example, where you can like cancel your jump into another one.
Yeah.
And like get the sequence break stuff. Which I think adds a lot of interesting dynamics to how you approach it.
And they hid stuff in the game where it was like meant, like there's like certain areas where it's like you can only get to if you sequence break the game.
Right.
And they'll hide like a huge pile of coins up there where it's like, hey, we know that you fucked with the game to get here, but we appreciate it.
We know that there is a beard on your neck, and we put this here for you. So, I like that actually. It's sort of like a low key acknowledgement of that. So, is it a pen in your mouth?
I hope not to be drawing attention to myself, but yes, it is. Yeah.
For some reason, I thought it was like a bendy straw this whole time. Like he had like a large.
Man, I wish.
He's taking notes.
Straw.
He's actually.
I'm just my fucking my nerves from the fucking trying to get technology to work is I'm picking up anxious habits as a result of me being so fucking angry right now.
No, I feel you, man. I get the same way. I rage really hard when things don't work, and they should. Like my Amazon. Here's another aging gamer take. My Amazon Fire Stick freezes all the time, and I always say like unhinged shit. Like I just fucking nothing ever just fucking works. I can't just fucking plug something in and it just works.
Right.
And I'm pretty. And my dogs get all scared. And I'll bring this back to Mario because I raged at Mario Odyssey a couple times. I'm not gonna lie, like not like a hardcore rage, but I was definitely like fuck. Did you guys? Did you? Am I seriously detached from reality?
I mean, some of the later stuff, yeah, and like there's like, God, there was something I was playing recently, and I can't remember what the fuck game it was, but like some stuff where you just like. You fight the same boss 100 times. I know, like Joe, you're a fan of Dark Souls and stuff, and like I always want to pick up like those games. Like look really cool to me, but it's like everybody always intimidates me because it's like I don't know, man. It's like just the idea of having to play the same thing over and over is like really like the less time, the less free time I have, the more I'm like
that's another aging gamer take, actually.
No, that is for real, man. Like there, like sometimes I just like fantasize about like summer spent on like my air conditioned basement, like nothing but time on my hands, like, and it's like I mean, I it's kind of depressing, like as an adult when you have that, but then it's like you look back on it as a kid and it's very like nice. But at the same time, it's like, it does kind of suck where it's like I have to maximize my time when I'm not working so I can like consume as much content as possible.
So when I was playing through the Souls series the first time, actually when I fully started getting into it, I think like when Bloodborne came out was like when I hit my apex of like complete Soulsness, and I had that same exact like ideation about playing games and getting stuck in whatever, and like I was that's probably the most depressed I've ever been in my life, and then I managed to play through Bloodborne and just trying to like eschew that, and it got me like it made me approach games differently, I think.
Okay.
Kind of like how I did before as a kid when I was playing Mega Man and it was hard and I hated dying and going through the stages over again. But then I eventually kind of just like, I don't know, pushed myself to do it. And I was working like 80 hours a week during this Souls period too. So it was like the only time that I had to do stuff I was just like losing in Dark Souls 2, And but I don't know, like it's at one point maybe I just became masochistic or maybe it just clicked. But now I just kind of see that, or maybe I just got used to it, it just kind of clicked and I just accept it. I accept that as part of the game.
And I want to say too, like, during quarantine, I've actually been playing a lot of games. And I've actually, like, it's like, this shit sucks, but I have been like knocking off a lot of things in my backlog of games to play. And there is a point where it's like, there is like a certain, like, I think like I'm actually hitting like a new level of like capital A aging gamer where it's like, I do think like, cause like I just turned 30 this year. And I think that there was a point where, I don't know. I definitely was a little more critical of like the amount of time I might spend in a game. And now there's like a certain element where it's like I'm almost appreciating like a challenge from something to the point where it's like, I just, this is how they made it. This is how it's meant to be consumed. I'm not going to get caught up in like how much time I'm wasting, and I'm just going to like play however much I want or whatever,
Demon of the Fall says, Kevin, what's the best game you've played during quarantine?
That is a very good question. I am currently, I know like Joey, you were watching me on stream the other night.
Oh,
I'm
Yakuza?
playing, Yakuza Kiwami 2. I've been playing through the Yakuza games. I played Yakuza 0 a few years ago. Then I played Kiwami 1 and 2 during quarantine. I really, really love those games. They just knock off like everything on my list. The
Do you see
Resident
this
Evil
stack
2
right here?
is that
That's
what
all
it is back there?
Yakuza games.
Nice.
Yeah.
They're amazing. The Resident Evil 2 remake was really good. God, what else did I play? Fuck.
What about you, Grant? What have you played during quarantine?
This is like it's rough for me to answer because I feel like I've been spending more time playing video games because there's nothing to do. But at the same time, I do feel like an anxious nervousness that sort of like fully stressed me out and is starting to ruin my life, which is just like, okay, like I can go back to work and stuff like that. I have things to do, but like the concept of sitting around so much has like really gotten to my head. So like if I've been picking something up, it's been something just like that I don't have to pay too much attention to.
That
Which is
explains
kind
the
of
Mario game that you were talking about.
yeah, like I have an appreciation for certain things where it's just like you put it in your hand and the controller just like you don't have to think too much about it and like your body and your brain and your eyes just sort of know what to do,
It's comforting.
sort of thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's a little bit of comfort to that, and I feel like some of the Twitch streams I've been doing, some of the better Twitch streams I feel like I've been doing have been like I picked up Katamari again, and that's just so
Oh,
easy
that's
to
so
just
good
like
to just put on.
it's
Yeah.
fun, it's simple,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
satisfying, like that type of stuff where it's just
Mhm.
like because on the opposite end of the spectrum, another thing I've been streaming a lot has been the game Celeste.
Oh,
And
yeah, Celeste
I've
is
just
great.
been having a fucking hell of a time with that game because obviously it's a difficult game. You guys were talking about like Souls-like games and shit like
Yeah,
that.
but that
and
game
it's
is
like,
like it makes it streamlines difficulty in a very specific way. So you don't have to
Right.
run back 3 minutes to the boss to get killed in one hit.
right.
So
I was going to bring that
yeah.
up earlier, actually. Like, I love like that is another game, like an indie game, where it feels so fresh and new, but like it has a lot of those elements from games we love as kids. And like, yeah, you said it's like
Right.
it's difficult, but it's like I like there's some like rooms in that game that I must have done like 100 fucking times to get through.
Mhm.
I didn't mind though because I didn't have to backtrack and do all this.
Right.
Like there wasn't save points.
Yeah.
And
And
it just, yeah.
that's certainly good, but I did have like I guess picking it up and playing like 2 or 3 flags in and just being like, okay, I'm fine with that versus like streaming it for 2 hours and getting stuck in the same part for like an hour and just being like, fuck, god damn it, like it's like,
Mhm.
oh man, I can't mentally handle this. I need to just play like Mario Kart and like blow off steam. Like it's easier, that's where I do have an appreciation for certain things where it's like, yeah, maybe I'm not as into Mario as I used to be when I was a kid, and it doesn't hold that same nostalgia factor or anything, but it's just like, fuck, they designed a really sort of just timeless game.
I'm just thinking in my head of like you booting up 4-player battle mode in Mario Kart and having like 4 controllers and just going around and popping everyone's balloons and being like, you fucker, and just to get that steam off, like that's how you you get it all. I don't know. That's my image in my head.
I could see it.
Just something. I feel like I did something like that a long time in GoldenEye. Like when
That's what I was. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
I made like I connected 3 other controllers and just went around headshotting people because I got frustrated at something. Or maybe I got in a fight with my dad when I was like 8,
It's like maybe don't tell the school therapist about that, but
Right, yeah. But it was just like it's an easy target. I don't know. Wow. What? Don't tell that to the therapist either, because fuck.
Yeah, right. I wanted to actually who was it here in the chat? Somebody brought up the Super Mario 64 okay, where the fuck is it?
Being better than Sunshine?
The creepy pasta.
Yeah, no. Somebody brought up this like
the creep, yeah.
Like I made this joke on Twitter about this recently too, where have you guys seen this trend? And like this is actually something I wrote down in the Thought Cops document for like a 2 minutes of hate coming up. It's this like fucking iceberg theory stuff where it gets started off with like Super Mario 64, where it's like this like creepypasta stuff about like ooh, there's scary polygons and old graphics and like there's Japanese text in the game. And it's like I think that there was like this weird element where it's like my first interaction with like, you know, Japanese anything was like, you know, Nintendo games. And once in a while, if you saw something you weren't supposed to see in the game, it was like this like, Japanese text would come up and you're like, what does that say? What is this? You know? And I think that there's been this element of that that's been heightened to this like annoying degree on
Yes.
YouTube, where it's like for 11-year-olds who don't know what Nintendo 64 is, but they're scared of it.
Okay,
Right.
could we? Okay, I thought about this when I asked you guys on, but now I have to do it because you brought it up. Because you had to be fucking self-referential with the 2 minutes of hate, Kevin.
As a tactical plug, I like to call it.
Can we do this? Because what is your punishment? Actually, before we talk about this, Grant, remind the people who may not be familiar with you guys what your 2 minutes of hate segment is.
All right, so Thought Cops, as you all know, is based on the reference to the 1948 novel 1984. And there's people in there called the Thought Police, right? So the Thought Cops is a stupider version of the Thought Police, and it's a good reference to bring up because a lot of dialogue online at the time was very sort of saturated with this whole thing of like, oh, who's you're being censored on the internet, who's policing the thought police? Oh, you're guilty of wrongthink. So it's like that came out of that. And then obviously in 1984 there's the 2 minutes hate, where you stand in front of a screen and you just scream for however long. So it's basically the same thing.
Gotcha.
But we rant and rave about things on the internet that we hate, and it's usually some form of a trend. And there's always a punishment to go with it, because we are judge, jury, and executioner, much like Judge Dredd. So
yeah, like Dredd 90 in the chat.
Like I like to think of it, we're kind of like a mix of like Judge Dredd in the movie Akira. We're just like, except we spend all of our time on our phones.
It's like Judge Dredd, Akira, Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, RoboCop, like 4 other things.
It's basically useless internet knowledge that everybody hates. Like, what was one we talked about recently? Like, people who just like quote tweet stuff on Twitter, like this.
That's it. That's the tweet. And
exactly.
It's like, but it's not like in an ironic way. It's like a legitimate like they're saying. So
we just blow off steam about stupid format shit. But yeah, mine, like one I was going to bring up, and I don't know, I'll probably do it in the next episode or whatever, but I'll just say it now because somebody brought it up, was like this fucking iceberg theory stuff where it's like, and what I do love about Mario 64 is it is this weird atmospheric game, like compared to the ones that came before it. It's very like, it's very like
Jolly Roger Bay, baby.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff to explore, and like the castle's very kind of like haunted and quiet in a weird way, like a somber way.
Mm-hmm.
But like people take it as just like, oh, every game is like personalized, and people like have like these nightmares about it or something.
Yeah,
and it's very weird. And like there's even these people who are like, they tell scary stories of like the beta build from like 1995, where they're like,
step back.
It's too much. It's like weirdly obsessive. Mm-hmm. But my whole thing with it is like, it kicked off a trend of like other iceberg theories. Like now I'm getting recommended like I got one last night. It was like the Breaking Bad iceberg theory. It's like, and they use that same like graphic of the iceberg where there's like layers. So the top part is like the surface level trivia, and the bottom part is like the rumors or like unknown information and stuff like that. The creepiest of the creepy pasta. Speaking of Italians.
Yes. Damn, and with the hollowness of that echo, just, it was good.
How I feel inside right now.
That was so good. That like unintentional, but great. So what's your punishment?
You know what, Grant, you want to help me out and spin that wheel for me?
Oh, sure.
So we got this wheel for us on the show because sometimes it's hard to think of things. It's hard to think. So we spin this, and whatever comes up, we kind of... Damn, that's actually kind of hypnotic from...
Yeah, I was just going to say, if you're not watching this video, get on it.
Choose your own pain.
Choose your own pain. Okay.
Which is just you do the punishment.
I guess I'll just do it anyway.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
There's a
I
couple bugs in the system.
I want to have these kids play these games and realize they're not so scary. You know, you can play you can play Banjo Kazooie and not, shit your pants because you're scared of it because it's like the developers put some like secret message in the game that tells you to kill yourself. That's insane. That would never happen.
It's because people want to get really into something and they don't know how to do it. So it's like using that as an excuse for personality almost is the best way I could describe it. Like just like having to be so into something just to do it. Like, just, you
totally.
can fucking talk about something and criticize it or, like, just analyze it or just talk about it appreciatively without having to, like, go down the full, like, rabbit hole. Like, just be normal.
Please.
Normalize being normal.
Right. And, like, I'd probably consider myself neurodivergent. I have a video game podcast.
Yeah.
But, like, there's levels. I don't know, man. You don't have to go that deep.
No, it's like it feels like very like insincere in a weird way too.
Exactly.
Just,
like, exactly. Oh man, so good. I'm gonna give mine before I hand it off to Grant because I will forget it if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
By all means.
And so mine is people who get really, really invested in fidelity of playing quote unquote retro games, but don't actually play them. So what I mean is like people who spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on like a very specific CRT or, like Trinitron or like whatever. And like, like think that they have to play Mega Man X on that or else they can't get the true experience. And I mean, I love that stuff. I love like, honing in on the moment and like the time and the technology of the time to make it the most authentic experience possible. There's a lot of games I don't want to play in an emulator for that same reason. And it's harder for me to play. Milo says, I use my PVM. Shut up. Right now you do.
What's up, Milo?
But yeah, so like, I mean, that's, a PVM is a big trend in this. And I'm not like trying to judge how people play games necessarily, but it's like, the amount of time and money that you spent doing something that you're only going to spend an hour or two max, like,
right?
I don't know, man. It just seems so. It just seems so misguided. So Astral Gamer says spending money in a CRT when you can get them for free on Craigslist. Yeah, but you're not going to get like a nerd one. You're not going to get like a. I mean, you could get really lucky, but you're not going to get one with like intact actual monitor quality tube stuff. But I see where you're going from.
I have like I have an analogous comparison to that. If you want me to draw from my own experiences to complain about people that I know.
Fuck yeah.
Is that here. I grew up playing music and stuff, and I've sort of fallen off of it. I don't get the same thing that I used to get out of it, but I never had money, or I had lower middle class money, which can buy you like
this
maybe
much.
Exactly that much. You can get like a Squier Stratocaster and a cheap amp, and I'd have a lot of friends that just had so much fucking equipment, just like American made Stratocasters and tube amps and just like all the pedals, and it's like, but you can't fucking, you don't play, you don't practice, you don't even play. Like the thing, it's a vessel, your instrument's a vessel. You can I got heated. I punched my microphone. It's a vessel for you to like to create with, in the same way that it's like, the games are a vessel for your enjoyment. If you're so bogged down on technology and this and that, it's like you're missing the entire point, which is like to have
expression.
Fun.
Yeah,
exactly. To express yourself.
I'm a little guilty of this too because I don't know anything about music theory. I definitely spend no time practicing, and but I am kind of like a tone dude. But that being said, a lot of what I do with music is kind of like more, at least like what I do for myself that I like record, is to make like stuff that I want to listen to, and so a big part of that is like more ambient tone oriented stuff. Rather than whatever. But like I fully understand the message of like I should probably get better instead of spending, there's like a priority system basically.
Yeah, or you could also do both, like I've collected a ton of fucking pedals and stuff too, and it's like they're all fucking interesting. I have a fucking $3,000 piano sitting right behind me.
For some reason, I was
I'm
like
not-
craning my neck to like see it. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like a
To be fair, this
I don't
was
want to move the.
this was my girlfriend's old piano from when she was a kid,
Mm-hmm.
so that's why we have it here. My thing is like moderation, like everything else,
Right,
You know, like
right.
these things aren't mutually exclusive,
Including moderation.
Yeah, and it's like including moderation, yeah, because if you moderate too heavily, then you're a rigid little fuck. So,
True.
But I mean, like that applies to this too, and my segment as well about people who are just super into that. And like I know a lot of people who are really into fidelity stuff, who like do love games deeply and do play them as much as they, they hound for specific technology
Right.
and hardware. I don't think that makes you more or less valid of a gamer, which is a fucking term I hate it, but
Yes.
Right.
but the point is that like. Not
It gets a little too puristy.
Yeah, just play the fucking game, dude. And I think a big reason why people do this is because they're intimidated. They're fucking intimidated by like I don't know, playing just playing it averagely. Just like to me it's like seeing it. It's like seeing a movie at home versus seeing a movie in theaters, in a way.
Versus seeing one on your iPhone.
yeah. Oh,
On your
God.
fucking iPhone, David
Yeah.
Lynch comes in. David Lynch is actually going
If
to be
you
a guest
didn't
too.
play Super Mario Brothers 3 on a CRT, you didn't fucking play it.
That's angry video game nerd David Lynch.
Right.
is who that was. But yeah, so my punishment for these folks, you have to play something on the TV that I played games on when I was a kid. And it was an 80-inch projection TV with some of the lights kind of burned out. And it made games like FF9 and Saga Frontier extremely difficult to play because it's hard to see where to go in the background of those. So that's what you have to do. You have to play that, or you have to play Dark Souls on remote play for the rest of your life. Those are your only two real...
And I do want to say though, like something I have been thinking about is like some of those older games, I do kind of miss playing on a CRT because I think that like the pixels
Yeah.
and stuff, they blended in better on that kind of TV.
Right,
You know
they
what I mean?
do. It does look better. It's a better experience. It definitely is. I am not like disputing that fact. It's just I feel like at one point you have to decide if there's always that choice between like the hunt and the end result, and I feel like so many people get burnt out by the time they finish the hunt for the perfect CRT and the perfect modular cables and all that kind of stuff. You just lose something of it, like you lose the...
Demon of the Fall 1992 has a great punishment for you as well. Dark Souls with a Guitar Hero controller.
I've never heard anyone say that before. That's a completely new. That's a completely new. Wow, Jamie, that is crazy. No, I will say one more thing before I pass it off to Grant. I did try to play Bloodborne on my phone on remote play and PS5 remote play, and it was the hardest fucking thing I've ever done.
Is it that bad? I never
No,
tried
it's
it.
impossible. I mean, I'm a boomer. I can't really do touchscreen. I'm a boomer,
no,
and
fuck
I'm
that,
blind,
yeah.
and I'm an aging gamer with a bad back. All these things combined make me not very good at using a touchscreen, and I like to make excuses, so that adds another layer to it. And so I got a boss down with it, but it was miserable. And I'm pretty good at Bloodborne. I'm not like no hit, like speed run level at Bloodborne, but like I'm between like casual or midcore and hardcore on Bloodborne. And so, wow, what an experience. Sorry, Grant, take it away. Please hate.
While I have the floor, I would like to just make note of the fact that I have just only now noticed the cat that's behind Kevin.
I didn't
was
even
in
notice
a
it.
blind fury of rage that I just now saw it.
Again, this is why I need to watch the video. Because
Yeah,
Right,
she was
exactly.
sleeping the whole. I
Yeah,
noticed
yeah.
I noticed on the camera she's waking up behind me.
I was just so fucking furious. Anyway. Does it have to be video game related, or can it be technology as a whole?
yeah.
Because I feel like I can make a cogent point about the intersectionality between the two. let's
Yeah, no, that's
say.
perfect. That is on brand.
All right, great. So my 2 minutes of hate has to be, and this has actually been on the sheet for a long time, and I guess I just haven't felt the need to bring it up, but now I feel the need to bring it up because this is relevant and it just happened. Is lag. The concept of lag in general is the
Yeah.
cancer of all things online.
Yes.
It ruins every experience. It ruined the first part of my portion of the video call, which now it seems to be fine, but it's
Yeah,
just one of
it's
those
working.
things where it's like if you're playing some fucking online RPG with friends or something like that, and you fucking lag out, and you're just like pounding your fists into the fucking keyboard or whatever. Like it's easy because we do like the Twitch stream to notice how often that will fuck with you, you
Yeah.
know,
Oh,
just
for sure.
little things just to pull your consciousness away from what you're doing. And I feel like with things like this, it's like I don't think that I have that many talents as a person, you know. I don't
Oh,
think that
stop.
Same.
I don't think that I'm the
Both
most
of you.
talented gamer. I don't think that I'm the most I don't think I'm the smartest person, but I do feel like I can at the very least hopefully entertain some people with either the way that I talk or how stupid I come off as, or that people hear me say something and they think that it's like worthwhile to listen to. And then that performative aspect of like what I'm clinging onto as the smallest bit of personality just comes full stop as soon as lag happens, and
Oh,
I
dude,
can't
yes.
even fucking say what I'm trying to say in the goddamn first place.
It's like I said before when I raged at the Amazon Fire Stick. You just want it to work,
Right.
and there's no reason why it shouldn't. You
Right.
And
know,
I think that also kind of ties into your point earlier, Joey, because some of the reason people buy these CRTs, like especially for
right.
fighting games, like I know our friend John has a nice CRT specifically for like fighting games and everything like
Yeah.
that, because like there is the input, that goes
Delay.
directly, just the way
Yeah,
it's made,
that's yeah. That doesn't apply to my judgment though. Like,
Yeah.
my judgment was more so like people who do it kind of just because it's cool, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah,
Because
I
somebody
sorry, I
told
just
them
want to clarify
that it was cool.
right, yeah. Yeah, no, I agree, and I think one of the biggest things and why like why I was saying, like just play the fucking game, is because I feel like if you get too bogged down by things interrupting your experience, and this applies to all technological whatever,
Right.
you lose just the investment, the personal and the emotional and physical investment in things. And like this is coming from somebody who is constantly distracted. Sometimes you just really need to just shut up and do it.
Right.
And
Yeah.
like things like quality of life are never really a bad thing. I don't think. And I'll give you a really good example of this. I'm playing Romancing Saga 2 right now, the remaster, and it's a great remaster of the game, but it adds this input lag that makes it frustrating for no reason. And like it's a turn-based RPG, but it still makes things just suck.
I mean, that like, on paper that sounds like a small complaint, but it's like when it's something you have to do over and over and over and over and over and over again, it's like that's a huge problem.
Yeah.
And how do you deal with
Or-
that middle ground? Like, what do you like? What's the best option?
Right.
You know.
Or a lot of times, like I've been talking about, like I just pick up a game and I just sort of like use it to blow off steam or whatever the fuck. Like an easy one for me is just like Smash Bros online, because it's just like it makes sense in my head, it makes sense in my hands. I can pick it up, I can do a couple just one-on-one battles and whatnot, and just sort of like I get something out of it. I get a little bit better at the game. Maybe I get pushed in a certain sort of way, but then after a couple of rounds I can just put it down and whatnot, and it's satisfying in that way. And like the worst thing is always like you start the battle and like your character just slowly drops, and it's just like I'm just gonna walk off the side of the fucking stage because it's not even worth it. I'm gonna pull my fucking hair out. This is the worst fucking experience. I'd rather be like horrifically losing and getting the shit kicked out of me than like have to bother with 3 more seconds worth of lag. Like I'm not even gonna do it. Fuck
And
it.
that's why
Not
you
to
change
mention,
your
yeah,
hair
like-
so often because of this.
Right.
I see.
Not to mention lag. Yeah, the Nintendo's online systems have never been too great.
Right.
So
Or it
Fuck 'em.
kicks you out in the middle of fucking Mario Kart or some shit, and it's just like,
Yeah.
man, yeah, like you were saying, it's like I just want to fucking play, okay, and anything that gets in the way of that, whether it's sort of like internal or external or whatever it is, it's just like
The
it
Mario
sucks all of the
Manifesto.
enjoyment.
The Mario Manifesto extends to rollback netcode on all things internet.
Right.
We need rollback netcode on all things. So Grant, punishment, dole it out.
I'm gonna spin the wheel, not because I need it, but because I want it. It looks good, and we don't have like the visualization of it too often on the camera. So
Oh my God, potpourri! I hate you. I really hope it's not that. If it's that one,
ooh, that's a good one.
Well, I can't
Minecraft.
ooh. So wait, the punishment's Minecraft?
Well, it's like if you can explain, Grant.
the Minecraft defense is the name of that. It's anytime you say you're gonna do something illegal, the cops can't lay a hand on you if you say in Minecraft. So I can say I'm going to on this channel, on the Jump and Shoot channel right now, I can say I have plans to assassinate the president of the United States in Minecraft, and they can't do anything about it. I'm just kidding. I would never do. It's Minecraft. I'm gonna build a Minecraft world. You can do anything you want. Nothing. There's no. I'd probably have killed a man in Minecraft. Who knows? No, I'm not saying yes or no to any illegitimate situations. This couldn't be used in the court of law against me because hands off, I'm in Minecraft. So
Wow. This is taking a turn.
Right. So I guess the punishment for that would be I don't know, if you created Discord and you work there and there's lag, anytime there's lag, I get to murder you in Minecraft. I think
I see.
Yeah.
I see. What
Well
about
deserved.
like giving everybody 2003 DSL? Like all developers of shitty netcode just have to deal with 2003 DSL or dial up.
I mean,
I would say that's a good one too.
yeah. Figure it the fuck out.
I have I'm just going to say this publicly. I don't know if I can. I'm trying to formulate a class action lawsuit against RCN because they have straight up lied to me about their service. I have terrible internet and it's intermittent as hell, and I know I have the logs, gentlemen, to prove it, and they straight up won't acknowledge it. So I launched a formal complaint on them on the BBB.
Yeah.
And oh boy. And actually maybe this will come back to bite me, but fuck RCN.
Well,
good for you, man.
I think that this also brings up a broader point, which is that it's not Discord and it's not all these different things. I mean, to a certain extent, yeah, but from a systemic angle, God, our internet in this country is horrific, and it's all the government's fault. It's all the government and the corporation's fault, and they're gridlocked in this fucking like who has the right to do what. And it's like you look at other countries that have like nationalized internet service, and it's like, oh wow, every country has better internet than the fucking United States. Why is that? How come we can't just do what they're doing? And it's like, oh well, because Comcast's CEO has to make $400 billion this year in his paycheck, as opposed to $390 billion, because the concept of perpetual growth in a capitalist society. And you got to just keep doing it. And it's like, but we're suffering here. Okay. We're suffering
in Minecraft.
I can't get my internet to work.
Dude, I agree completely, but I was giggling because I saw Kevin right when you started and he looked so scared.
Yeah, but the Minecraft thing?
No. When you first started talking about internet, I felt like you were, I got some big, babe, cool down, babe vibes from you for a second there.
Yeah, that we're used to podcasting together, so we got to hold each other accountable and not, making legally actionable threats.
No, it's not legally actionable. I said in
Right, right.
Minecraft, I can say whatever I want
Yeah.
to say.
And his internet's
I just
breaking
wanted
up
to make sure
again.
you added that at the end. That's all.
In Minecraft. Everything that I've ever said has been in Minecraft. I also want to bring attention to Dread90 says you guys can't complain.
Yes.
Australia literally has the worst internet in the world. I can complain and I will.
Yeah, it's like you can't do the trauma Olympics with internet. You know, like I agree Australia has the worst internet, but that doesn't mean that. It's bad. Their infrastructure is fucked.
Really?
But they also have like demon spiders and actual Dark Souls bosses like just wandering the landscape.
Right.
Well, there's your
chewing
problem.
on the cables.
And they're chewing on the cables. Like, dude, there's some. I have a
There's
lot of
kids starving in Africa, but like that doesn't help me with my internet problem.
Exactly.
Like what are they gonna do for me?
I mean, they're all these are all first world problems, you know. But that's just the allure of it is like we're complaining about things that don't matter, but they are kind of annoying. All right.
Yeah, they're kind of fucking annoying.
They
brother.
could be better, and the power structures at play won't allow them to be better, and that's why I rage against the machine every day.
Every day.
I put on the Battle for Los Angeles, and I go to town.
Same. I put on Death Consciousness because it just turned 13 years old today, so fuck yeah.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Death Consciousness. But you know what? I'm going to bring this full circle. Are you guys ready for this? Are you ready for this? So,
go for it.
How does this apply to Mario? And how it applies to Mario is that, I don't know, Kevin. How does it apply to Mario?
You for all of our punishments? I mean, let me think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't want lag because you want to time those jumps properly.
Oh no, I got it. Corporations making things harder than they have to be sucks, and it applies to Mario because we got that Mario collection, for example, and it's missing Galaxy 2.
Mm-hmm.
And there's shitty ports. There's input lag on Sunshine. Apparently, I haven't played it personally, but
it was fine for me, I think.
Okay,
but
But I mean, like, it still shouldn't be a thing that happens that we pay $60 for, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So,
and it's all done for profit because they know that you're going to pay for it and they're going to make money off of you paying for it, and so they're not held accountable. But what are you going to do? Boycott them? Somebody else is going to buy it. It doesn't matter.
Right, exactly. And that's the struggle, man. I mean, like, okay, so you have things like the Xbox Live thing. Did you guys hear about this yesterday or 2 days ago, whenever it was?
What happened?
So Xbox Live wanted to raise their prices for Game Pass and like basically force it on everybody or whatever. And they raised it like almost by double. And people complained and went into arms, and then they kind of rescinded their statement and went back on it.
Well, that's good.
Yes, it's good, but how much of that is performative? You know, you got to remember too that these companies they basically like market test these decisions. Like, it's not like Xbox wakes up one day, Xbox the Xbox itself.
Yeah.
It's not like Microsoft wakes up one day and they're like, well, we're gonna just fucking throw that on there. I guarantee they had a market strategy that was like, if people respond poorly, then we just go back because then it shows brand loyalty. You know, there's a lot of that stuff that happens, and Nintendo for some reason is this aberration in that department because I don't know if that would affect Nintendo.
No, there has been some stuff. I know like there is like some of the like Pikmin 3 when they announced it was coming to Switch, they took it off the Wii U eShop because it was cheaper on there and it was already out, and people complained about it and they put it back on the next week. Yeah. So I mean, like, it's like one of the few good things about the internet now is because like you can like people can get their voices heard because it's like, yeah, they did test these things, and you may be right. There is like maybe a little bit of like a lack of effort because it's like, well, if it doesn't work out, we'll just change it when everybody hates us and complains, and then they'll be tired of us. They'll be over it in like a day. You know, they'll move on to the next thing.
And there's also the concept that I feel like we sort of regularly have to talk about on Thought Cops, which is the very real problem of agitprop, not to be confused by Ajit Pai, as Astro Gamer brought up. But agitprop, which is like agitation propaganda, which is just like, you can make a lot of money by pissing a bunch of people off. When people are pissed off, they're talking about you for an entire news cycle. You go back, like, You rectify whatever situation, and then all of a sudden it's like, the only reason why anybody cares about any of this is because we pissed people off, and we sold 1 million copies that exact day.
Yes, dude.
Because of the situation.
Thank you for defining terms that I always am so apprehensive to use on a video game podcast, because I
probably used it wrong.
No. That's exactly. It's the same concept in theory. Like that's the streamlined layman's version of that is all press is good press or whatever. You know,
Right.
like, and you're 100% right. And I think Nintendo. I don't know where Nintendo. They're definitely kind of like a weird middle ground on that. But like, what is the way? How do we get more Mario games, for example? And this is not just Mario, but because that was supposed to be the subject, we'll bring it back to there. How do we get the Mario games that we want to play on the Switch in a reasonable way that makes Nintendo money, but also gives the gamer, the end user, the ability to play these games? Like, what is the project?
My idea for that was like, you know how they have like with Switch Online, you get like the access to a pretty decent library of like NES and Super NES games, and it's kind of annoying at like how slow they're coming out. But it's like I think people would be willing to pay a potential like deluxe price to have like N64 games or GameCube games on as well, because it's like for the price now, it's like they would be hemorrhaging money if they were putting them on, for what they are now. But it's like people would pay for like to have those on there for like a little bit more, and I think that'd be a smart move.
Totally. I just want to give a shout out to my friend Gaming with Spoons, who did a really good video on, or at least a primer on video game preservation. About this kind of thing, who like a big reason why this stuff happens is why you don't see ports and stuff coming out is not because the companies don't want it. It just, you remember that video games are a product and they're a service and a business, and so maybe it's not worth their hyper capitalistic I guess like profit margin to bring over Yoshi's Island 2 and the GBA versions of the 2D games and Galaxy 2.
So what you're saying is overthrow global capitalism, install a state of communist overthrow of all the world's governments all at the same time, decommodify the entire concept of what is a video game. Do away with things like copyright laws because everything belongs to everybody. Do away with the concept of a state. And do away with just like money in general, and then we could have whatever video game we want, really.
So,
and that's the Mario Manifesto. Yeah,
that's the Mario Manifesto. That's why I'm wearing red. And it's also
I'm also wearing red.
Damn.
I didn't get the memo. Apparently.
Couple pinkies in here. Sorry, Kevin. Guess you're alt right.
Memo festival.
Tug's collar for
alt right. Kevin coming in hot. Talking about fucking how he's stoked to buy Mario 3D Land and shit. I don't know.
You know me.
Yeah. So I guess this went to places. Anything else that you guys want to say before we wrap up here? Any subjects to broach?
I'm trying to think if there's anything else I had specifically to say about the topic. Joey, I would ask you, Mario or Sonic?
Oh, Mario.
Okay, agreed.
Yeah.
And you say you prefer Mega Man over Mario?
Oh yeah, that's not even close.
Well, why is that exactly?
I think Mega Man is a little bit. I feel like the high end of Mega Man, there's a bigger ceiling. I like the style more. I think Mario has its play. I think they fill two different niches, like I don't know, not like Mario's niche. What the fuck am I talking? But like they fill two different needs rather. Two different niches, and they fill both aspects of existential dread in me.
Explains so much, actually.
Is this Kermit the Frog Jordan Peterson?
I'm going to do an entire 3.5 hour long lecture on Nietzsche and Mario and how the hero's journey intersects with this, and throw in some Jung and
Lacan.
Start taking well, no, I don't think Jordan Peterson knows anything about Lacan, does he?
Probably for clout, like just basic.
Okay, just because I know that's more of a Zizek thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
To bring up Lacan all the time, so I don't.
That's a.
I don't want the wires to get crossed, is what I'm saying. Also, I forgot what we're talking about.
Mario versus Sonic. Oh, Kevin,
Or
what
Mega
about you?
Man.
I'll throw
Yeah.
that back at you. Mario or
I
Sonic?
mean, I definitely prefer Mario, mainly because of like how the 3D Sonic games like are
Yeah.
wildly hit and miss,
Mhm.
and even then, the highest ceiling for the 3D Sonic games is much lower than the 3D Mario games.
Right.
I would say that the two adventure games are awesome,
Mhm.
and I would say even the side-scrolling Sonic games are not as good as Mario side-scrolling.
I think like the high points of the Sonic games beat Mario, but I think as a whole, Mario on an average is way more consistent. You know.
Yeah, I was just like thinking of like what other comparable series there would be to that.
Yeah, a Mega Man Crash. Maybe Spyro. I don't know.
I never really played much of those two.
I mean, like it still falls off a little bit, but those are the two big. You know that's what you always harken back to when you think of the golden age or whatever.
Yeah,
The Mario versus Sonic and all that stuff. So, what about you, Grant? Mario or Sonic?
I mean, obviously, I would have to go Mario. I don't have any weird affinity for whatever the fuck the internet's done with Sonic
yeah.
the past couple decades.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, man. That's a fandom I'll just never fully understand, and this is coming from somebody who started a podcast based on Mega Man. I don't really get a lot of the hype for it. I try. I mean, I haven't played a lot of the newer Sonic games though, so it is what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. There is something satisfying. I mean, I do. Sonic Mania, I think, was very, very well done, and
Yeah.
I liked playing it. I liked seeing it, and I liked that sort of like grassroots revitalization of 2D Sonic games. You know, because I think that was like a third-party platform that Sega was then like, hey, why don't you just actually make this game for us, sort of thing. So, I mean, that's cool, but yeah, I mean, it's everything else just reminds me of Tamer's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 type shit. Like, I can't get that out of my head, and I don't think that I ever will.
So let me throw that back to you for the final topic of this evening. Do you think that Mario could stand for a sort of return to grassroots style? I mean, I guess that kind of is what 3D World and New Super Mario Wii U are, but I'm talking about let's take it further back. Do you think that that's something that you'd want to see, or that you realistically could see?
Mario Maker kind of did that.
True.
You know?
True.
And those games are fun. I mean, that's another one I put like 100 hours into, just like playing random people's levels they made on Mario Maker. Like those games are so fun.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they have to continue to sort of like evolve and move forward. I mean, that's been every system has just been like, hey, we're gonna this new system that came out has this new technology, and we're gonna take full advantage of it. And I think that they just need to keep doing that type of stuff. That's what, you know, made Sunshine different from 64. That's what made the Wii versions, the two Galaxies different than Sunshine. And it's like you just gotta keep beefing it up, but hopefully it doesn't get too beefy, because then it's just too much of the same shit, you know, and you want it to be new and fresh and different each time without it being
and that's
too
a good
alienating.
Point.
Totally.
A good point too is like I think like as far as like video game series go, like I think like Mario is probably the one where you could like every game in the series for the most part like stands on its own very much. Like you know, you can only get like, you know, something specific from like Sunshine or something specific from like Mario Brothers 3 kind of thing, and it's like, you know, there's a reason to go back and play them as opposed to like, oh, I'll play the newest one, or you know what I mean.
Totally. Yeah, there's always something there, something to be discovered, I guess. I think for old and new fans too. Like, and that's why I do like that. I think they've sort of been trying to bring back Mario games, or like the older ports, but I think there still needs to be more. Mario's Missing 2. When?
Those don't count.
No. It's not a sequel, but it's Mario is Missing, 2, and that's the game that we need. I don't know. It's Luigi's.
I mean,
the year of
they're
Luigi
educational. Again. It's good for the kids.
Mario's typing. Typing. All right. Well, shit. This went on a little bit longer than I thought. Sorry to just wrap it up here. Before we head out though, guys, where can we find you on the internet?
We are on. You can listen to the podcast Thought Cops on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, pretty much everywhere where you can find podcasts at. We're there. Look for us on YouTube. We got a lot of extra content, and all the episodes go up on YouTube as well. Just search for Thought Cops on there. Instagram, we're just at Thought Cops. Twitter, we're at Real Thought Cops because the other one was taken. And then I am at Kevin POTUS on Instagram and Twitter.
My names are all goofed on different platforms. I think it's at Grant Mooney on Twitter. On Instagram, it's at grant.moon.e. Go figure. On my favorite Chinese spying app, TikTok, it's at grant.mooney. And yeah, but I don't care about any of that. Just follow the Thought Cops shit.
Cool. Thank you guys for coming on here. It's always a pleasure to talk with you.
Yeah, thanks for having us. And I would say anyone who's listening or watching, check out Joey's been on Thought Cops. You can always look up that episode and and we'll have to have you back on again soon. I know we're like really falling behind on scheduling, but I mean,
yeah,
we're overdue for another Joey appearance.
Thank you. I'm always down, and likewise for you. When we do an actual episode, I definitely want to talk with you guys. And again, thanks for stepping out of your extremely serious political podcast. To talk about
anytime.
And last thing, first of all, actually, you can find us on Twitter at twitter.com/podcastjump, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. No TikTok Chinese spying apps, but you can find us on YouTube, which, it is what it is. And yeah, obviously, I've been doing this series for the last week. I'm going to be continuing to do it for the next couple days at least. So stick around for that if you guys have been enjoying these. I really appreciate it. And thanks for listening. And one last thing. Will we see Mario's dick?
Hopefully.
I do think, there's supposed to be like a DLC pack coming to Odyssey where I do believe you can de-pants Mario.